is all about 8 steps to make work less stressful for your employees. Okay, so that's the most kind of that's the most important the most important, let's say, topic we will discuss for today. So for HR leaders, event managers, talent acquisition, employee well-being, benefit managers who want to boost employee engagement and employee well-being. Now the sun is out here in London, which is great. So that makes me happy. Patra, that's great, Stefania. So I'm going to give you a very short introduction. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Alexandra Kafka. I'm the CEO and founder of Oxygen and Urban Yoga Lab. I'm a corporate well-being architect. I have worked with more than 50 global brands and thousands of employees. And I have been a former, like I've been a PR executive. I am a former PR executive, meaning that I'm really passionate about this topic. I know how it feels for employees who work in really high stress industries like PR, like tech, like finance. I know how that feels. And maybe that's what makes me so passionate about employee well-being and engagement. But it's also the fact that 4 years ago, while I was in my corporate job, I experienced burnout and panic attacks at the office, and that actually cost me my career. So my life's mission is to help employees to learn how they can avoid that by just getting access to the right tools. So I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. So let me know in the comments if you can see my screen, if everything is okay. So yeah, in terms of my background, I help HR leaders to supercharge their employees' well-being. Thank you, Laura. And to become an employer of choice within their respective industries. I have been working and partnering with many HR summits and conferences. I will be back. I have been invited to be back with the CIPD conference this summer, and I'm so excited about that. So if you're joining the summit, please let me know. I'd love to see you there. A little bit about us as Oxygen. If you have never heard about us before, we are a health and wellness body that fits inside your employees' pockets. Oxygen actually removes all the hassle when it comes to employee well-being planning, vendor sourcing, events recommendation, booking, and payments. So HR leaders can access our highly curated library of well-being content, while employees benefit from top-notch, engaging, and purposeful live events. So, over the last several years, our mother company, Urban Yoga Lab, has been entrusted by more than 50 global brands to give access to our programs. And thanks to the great success we had with corporates, we got requested to productize, digitize what we offer, and make it accessible via Oxygen. So before we kick off, I thought it would be great to go through the agenda. We are going to explore together the key challenges when it comes to stress in the workplace today, 8 steps to make work less stressful, and we'll have some time for questions at the end. Now, most of the practices I will share with you today, they are based on insights we got from our recent white paper we produced with Fortune 500 companies, which was featured by Forbes. That was last December. If you would like to get free complimentary access to our white paper, feel free to just take a photo of this QR code here, and you can get full access to that. Also, the insights I will share with you today are based on a report produced by the National Institute of Health. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions today, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. The presentation will be recorded and you will receive the replay. Do like to be interacted often, so if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and I'll come back to you. My team dropped some links already in the chat for those of you who want to connect with us. And my intention for this webinar is to be a forum for exchanging ideas. So please feel free to share your own ideas and best practices and strategies. Stories show that actually it's really alarming if you see like the percentage of employees in the UK, the percentage of employees who say that the work is becoming more intense. It's more than 50%. They feel that the day-to-day work is getting more intense, more demanding than ever before. And it's really alarming. It just makes me thinking that employee well-being is not a nice thing to have. It's essential. It's so important. If we know that 1 out of 10 of our employees are really struggling, the question is, how do we actually support and empower our teams? So the challenges we discovered thanks to our recent white paper, and I'm going to walk you through the key main challenges, the 3 ones which are stress related. Number 1 is the lack of work-life balance. So the majority of the employees in this survey, in this report, they actually shared with us that this is one of their top challenges. And it's interesting because our poll showed that this is important for some of you too. So that's the number 1. Number 2, we see digital fatigue. Now, so many employees are actually struggling with digital interactions and interruptions, which actually lead to digital burnout and disengagement. And speaking of digital burnout, we see there is a high number of employees who are like really tired of their digital devices, of the back-to-back meetings, of the thing that they need to work from home, so they feel they need to be plugged to their digital devices 24/7. So these are the 3 of the main reasons why we see there is so much stress and anxiety among employees who work in a hybrid environment. So you shared with us which is your number 1 challenge. Here you can see the report by the National Institute of Health, which actually highlights some more challenges, and we will share this presentation with you at the end so you can dive deeper. But they do identify also that one of the most important challenges, it is workload overload, resistance to change, and leadership buy-in. In terms of workplace stress, I want to share with you today some of my most favorite practices. Number 1, it's all about understanding workplace stress. Now, many companies are strong when it comes to their employee culture. I want to share with you that one of the best practices they implement is share case studies or testimonials for employees from their employee well-being ambassadors, which then they can share positive outcomes who have experience from stress reduction initiatives. So I'll give you 2 examples. Salesforce has featured an amazing case study. It's called Wellbeing Ambassador. And this is an initiative where well-being champions within the organization raise awareness about new mindfulness initiatives that boost employee satisfaction. So this is important because it brings those employees who are supporting our employee well-being initiatives, it brings them to on the spotlight, and that gives them the recognition and appreciation they need so they can keep going. The next one is the Whole Foods Market. It's an amazing organization when it comes to their focus on employee wellness. And recently, they featured some testimonials from their employee well-being ambassadors who benefited from on-site yoga classes and actually programs that improve work-life balance. So both organizations, Salesforce and Whole Foods, they say, you know what, we have those employees internally. Let's show to the world via case studies and testimonials how much they believe in those initiatives and they support us. It's a teamwork at the end of the day, right? So something that I have seen that works really well, and not many companies leverage this technique, is social media. Every time I talk with HR leaders and I speak to them about our strategy, I always encourage them to just take social media to share their employees' stories. It's a powerful way to show how great your brand is when it comes to your culture. The next best practice is about work-life balance. As we've said before, not having the right work-life balance can be really, really, really stressful. It can lead to stress. And so many employees who work from home, they don't actually, it's hard for them to know where their personal space is and where their professional life ends, and those two, the personal life and professional life, they become one, especially when we tend to work from home many days every week. It's hard to just have the right boundaries. So the question here is, how do we help our employees to have a better work-life balance? And what I have seen that work really, really, really well is when you develop a peer support program where employees can connect with their colleagues by just sharing the similar interests or experiences. So I want to share some specific examples, and this have to do with helping our teams to do better goal setting and time management. And this is really, really important. Now, how do we help our teams to do better goal setting, better time management? By giving them access to the right tools. You might be surprised, but like Microsoft Teams is not the best time management or goal setting tool for everyone. Slack or like, I don't know, even like Notion, right? Even Notion that I included it here doesn't work for every employee. So the idea is that, and what is really helpful is to give access to a number of tools so you can meet your employees where they are. And every tool speaks differently to each person. So it's so important to provide variety and make sure that employees have choices. So some of the tools I have seen that work really well, and they are kind of sophisticated, but also very easy, practical, kind of actionable, is my favorite, my personal favorite. It is called Habit RPG. So my team will drop it in the comments. Habit RPG. Now, why I love this specific kind of gamification template is because you set your goals and then it breaks those goals into smaller steps, and then it actually helps you to earn points and rewards for completing those sub goals. So it's like a gamified goal setting experience. And it's really, really cool because it's fun, it's engaging. And to be honest with you, with my team and the teams we work with from other organizations, we use it because it tracks your progress and rewards you accordingly. So that's lovely. The second tool I highly recommend, it is called Forest. And this app actually gamifies focus and productivity. Now, the reason I love it is because you plant a virtual tree and then you need to stay focused on one single task. And actually, if you get distracted, the tree dies and you lose. So again, it gamifies the process of you staying focused on one single task at a time. So I love both tools, and you might be surprised by how many managers I meet every day who have never, ever, ever had a sit down with their juniors to discuss with them how to be more organized, how to be more productive, how we do the basics right, goal setting, time management. So by offering the right tools to your teams and giving them different options, you empower your teams to work, to perform at their best. So my next best practice is what I started talking about earlier about developing a peer support program where employees can connect with other employees and they can share their common interests or experiences. Now, when it comes to help your teams to be together and to create that support system, it's really, really important to make sure that there is a safe space. There is psychological safety when it comes to sharing. So what I have found really, really helpful is to bring a facilitator within your company who actually brings employees from different departments together in circles, and then encourages everyone to open up and share a little bit about one single topic. And this topic can be different every time. At one time, the topic can be focus and concentration, and invite employees to share their experiences, to share advice, to share their favorite hacks when it comes to this topic. And that's how you create a more supportive work environment. The next thing is about provide resources for stress management. So here you can see, so first of all, I want to say, yes, there are many tools. I think the notion here is hereby, yeah, it's not right. So when it comes to the stress management tools, there are so many, right? There's a Calm and Headspace and our own app, Oxygen. There are so many different platforms. But I want to share with you what are the three most important factors for you to choose one platform over another. So number one, low barrier to entry. What do I mean by that? Start small. Instead of launching everything at once, let's assume that you want to launch a stress management tool within your organization. Instead of doing it and launching it, everything, all the features at once, consider a phased rollout. Meaning you start by highlighting a few key features initially, and then you move to the next group of features and then to the next group of features. So do it in stages. It's so much easier. Number two, engagement strategies. When you introduce a platform, a tool internally, it's so important to do it in a way that includes micro learning. I keep seeing over and over again companies which actually introduce programs where each training lasts between 2 to 3 hours. This is too much. This is too much. So I want to say that microlearning is about offering short, bite-sized learning modules on stress management techniques. My favorite is when you organize business meetings among your teams, bring a facilitator to do a 5-minute distress and mindfulness workshop, like 5 to 10 minutes, just in the beginning of the meeting, and see how everyone is so much more engaged and they feel so much more uplifted. And they will really appreciate that you introduce that kind of micro learning experience, a mindfulness kind of practice within the first 10 minutes of your team meeting, right? So that's really important. And the last thing is about manager involvement. It's really, really important to encourage your managers to be to actively participate in raising awareness about your initiatives. And this is super, super important. The next step is about encourage regular breaks. Now, I know that many people talk about it, about that, just go for a walk with a colleague, just go for a quick coffee or a quick cup of tea every 30 minutes, whatever. But what I found super helpful, and this is something we suggest with many of our partners and clients, is to leverage technology. So I recommend you actually create a VR break room within your organization. Doesn't need to be a huge space, can be a small room. And there you can create virtual reality break rooms, break spaces, accessible through headsets. So you just provide your employees with those headsets, and then buddies could virtually explore calming environments. They can play interactive games. They can attend virtual fitness classes together during breaks. So many things to do. And VR is a cool thing that can actually excite your Gen Zs to come back to the office, to work more often from the office while they have all these amazing benefits. So I don't want to take much of your time because we have another 3 different steps, but those steps are things you can actually dive a little bit later. I really love that kind of self-care corner. So it's interesting because a self-care corner at the office can help everyone to feel more bonded, more connected. And what I really, really love about it is when you create that corner with interesting elements. So this might be stress balls, essential oils, relaxation guides. So I really loved what Fidelity Investments does. They have their own corner, and there in this kind of self-care area, they offer light therapy lamps, which I think is cool, aromatherapy diffusers, and yoga mats. To be honest with you, these things do not cost much, can make a huge difference. And I love what MetLife does. This is a company in finance. They have created a comfy sitting place where they have calming natural soundscapes. So employees can wear those kind of silent disco headphones and just immerse themselves into nature. They also offer adult coloring books, and these are really good for stress management. So I hope you found those ideas helpful. Just to summarize, 8 steps: understanding workplace stress, promote work-life balance, foster a supportive environment, provide resources for stress management, encourage regular breaks, clarify roles and expectations, provide opportunities for growth, and practice self-care publicly. Any questions? No, we ran a little bit out of time. Any questions? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. Amazing. So as I mentioned earlier, the driver of all those insights is Oxygen, our employee well-being platform. It is a done-for-you service. It's equivalent of 10 vendors for the price of one. And here again, you can download our white paper for free. Now, when it comes to our upcoming webinars, as you know, we organize a lot of complementary initiatives, events for our community. So our next webinar is next month, and it's all about loneliness in the workplace. We organized a private event at the Members Club here in London in June, and you're invited. We have an HR webinar in June, but also in June, it will be a very busy month for us. We will be at the CIPD conference both days. We partner with the CIPD again this year. So if you happen to visit the summit, I'd love to see you there. Testimonials from clients. Any questions? You can also book a free consultation call with me and ask me anything you like. Amazing. My team will drop the links in the comments from our social media so you can follow us there. Thank you so much, Stefania. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Laura. So lovely to see you both here. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day and a wonderful week. Thank you, Stefania. And enjoy your lunch. I know now it's a lunchtime in the UK. And look forward to see you on my next webinar next month. I'm so excited to run this series. And if there is anything I can do to add value to our lovely community, I'm so much always excited and always happy to share from my personal experience, but also from the case studies, from our clients' case studies. So I hope you found those tips helpful, guys, and I look forward to see you next time. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day. And yeah, I'll see you all soon.